Right now, some people frustrated with Elon Musk and his involvement in the federal government are taking out their anger on his company, Tesla.
Some Tesla owners are receiving hate from others for their vehicle.
So I present to you the Cybertruck. The functionality I'm going to describe is within a space that is less than the most popular pickup truck in the United States.
Elon Musk. The shine is wearing off. Elon Musk has never been one to play it safe. Whether he's dropping surprise tech announcements or firing off tweets that send the internet spiraling, he's built a reputation on disruption. But lately, that trademark swagger seems to be fading. Take the Cybertruck, once hailed as a revolutionary leap forward in automotive design. It was supposed to change everything, a bold statement of Musk's vision for the future. But instead of redefining the road, it's quickly becoming a cautionary tale about what happens when ambitious ideas meet poor execution. What was meant to be a symbol of unstoppable innovation is now, ironically, stuck. Designed to break the mold, the Cybertruck is now just broken. And the road ahead, it's looking bumpier by the day. A national headache. For years, Elon Musk has dominated headlines with his massive dreams. Rockets to Mars, AI ventures, tunnels under cities. But this time, the drama is a little more grounded. Literally. It's not about tweets or far-out concepts, it's about a truck. A very heavy, very shiny, very problematic truck. The Cybertruck, a 7,000-pound stainless steel machine that was supposed to be the future of transportation, is unraveling before our eyes. Built to be bulletproof, hyped like something out of a sci-fi movie, and promoted as indestructible, it's now falling apart. Literally. From the moment it was revealed, the Cybertruck looked like it had leapt out of a futuristic video game. With razor-sharp lines, steel tougher than most cars on the market, and panels that Musk claimed could survive anything, it was more than a truck. It was a statement. But now, it's making a very different kind of statement. One about what happens when hype overshadows reality. Falling apart, literally. Fast forward to today, and that once revered piece of next-gen machinery is being quietly recalled. Not just a few units, nearly every single one. What went wrong? The unthinkable. The very panels that were marketed as invincible are detaching. At highway speeds, held on with nothing more than glue. Yes, you read that right. A $60,000 plus vehicle, designed to represent the bleeding edge of engineering, is being held together like a kindergarten arts and crafts project. The mighty Cybertruck, once positioned as the armored chariot of the future, has become a rolling liability, more than a malfunction. But this isn't just another case of Tesla overpromising and underdelivering. This is something deeper, a moment where a brand stops being a company and starts becoming a belief system. Tesla fans don't just love their cars, they worship them. But what happens when that blind faith crashes into the hard wall of reality? The Cybertruck is more than a failed product launch. It's a symbol of what can happen when belief overtakes logic. When cool design masks questionable engineering. When a cult-like following turns into a shield against criticism. And now, that shield is cracking. The recall that changed everything. Let's look at the numbers, because that's where things get real. On March 20th, 2025, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, dropped a bombshell. A total of 46,996 Cybertrucks, built between November 2023 and February 2025, were recalled. This wasn't a minor software bug. The issue? The canrail trim, a piece that runs along the truck's roofline, was peeling off at high speeds. A major piece of the vehicle's structure, one that shapes its iconic silhouette, was turning into a flying hazard on the freeway. Why? Because it was glued on. That's right. The same cold-rolled stainless steel that Musk boasts is used on SpaceX's Starship, a material engineered to survive space, was attached using adhesive that can't handle 75 miles per hour on I-405. A bigger problem than just glue. This is more than just a story about a faulty truck. It's about how hype can become dangerous when it isn't backed by solid engineering. Tesla has always sold more than vehicles. It sells an idea, a future, a movement. But when that future is held together with glue and good vibes, the cracks start to show. And fast. It's not hard to see why people treat Tesla like a tech religion. But this is a wake-up call. When innovation becomes faith, reality checks hit harder. And with the Cybertruck, reality is coming at full speed. Whether you're a loyal Tesla owner or just someone watching from the sidelines, this isn't just a blip. It's a moment. A moment that asks real questions about how we buy into brands, what we choose to believe, and what happens when the truth doesn't live up to the story we've been sold. Final thought. Think about this. A material built to survive the 4,000-degree re-entry into Earth's atmosphere is now failing at normal highway speeds. It's almost too wild to believe, but it's happening. That ultra-tough exoskeleton, the very thing that was supposed to set the Cybertruck apart, is falling apart instead. And that makes this more than a recall. It makes it a turning point. The steel isn't holding up, and neither is Tesla. The Cybertruck was supposed to be a tank on wheels, built from stainless steel, bulletproof, and borderline indestructible. But now, all that gleaming steel and talk of toughness is, quite literally, coming apart. And Tesla's response? Replace the panels. That might sound like a quick fix, but it's nowhere near enough. Estimates to address this mess are already soaring into the hundreds of millions, and some projections say Tesla could be facing a $1 billion repair bill by the time the dust settles. To put that in perspective, this isn't happening during a moment of financial strength. Tesla's already having a rough year. Its stock is down 42%. And that's not just market turbulence. It's a signal that deeper problems are brewing. And this isn't the first red flag. Last year, there were serious issues with the Cybertruck's accelerator pedal, as in, it could get stuck to the floor, launching you from 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, with no way to stop. Before that, the windshield wipers had a mind of their own, flipping on whenever they pleased. And now, the truck's most defining feature, its steel exoskeleton, is failing. The steel that was supposed to bend the future. Let's talk about that stainless steel shell for a moment. This isn't just any metal. It's corrosion-resistant, tri-ply stainless steel made with nickel and chromium, materials Musk once called a marvel of modern engineering. He described it like bending the future into a shape that was almost impossible. And while it is impressive in theory, one huge question seems to have been overlooked. Once you bend the future, how do you keep it together? Turns out the answer was glue. Yes, glue. Adhesive is what's holding together a 7,000-pound slab of steel that's supposed to be the pinnacle of automotive engineering. That's not innovation, that's a bet. And right now, that bet is blowing up in Tesla's face. Damage control or just a band-aid? Tesla is trying to manage the situation. They've admitted to receiving 151 warranty claims about the issue, but insist that no one's been hurt. No crashes, no fatalities. Still, they're issuing a 100% recall of the affected trucks, even though they claim only 1% have the defect. Wait a second. If it's really just 1%, why recall every single one? Maybe, just maybe, Tesla knows this problem runs deeper than they're letting on, and they're trying to get ahead of something worse. Because this isn't just about a manufacturing flaw anymore. It's about a company trying desperately to maintain its image as a tech trailblazer, even as it fails to deliver on some pretty basic expectations. From a vehicle that was supposed to survive space-like conditions, we're now watching it fall apart on everyday highways. That kind of brand damage doesn't happen overnight. It's happening right now, in real time, and it's got people wondering whether Tesla is crumbling under the weight of its own ambition. The dream of global domination? Not so fast Tesla once imagined the Cybertruck taking over the roads worldwide. That dream is fading fast, and the problems aren't just in the US. In January 2025, Greater Manchester, UK, saw its first Cybertruck impounded. Why? The truck didn't have a certificate of conformity, meaning it didn't meet even the basic safety standards to be road legal in the UK. At 2.2 meters wide and weighing nearly 7,000 pounds, the Cybertruck is so massive that in the UK, you'd need a C1 commercial license to drive it, the same license used for delivery trucks. A standard driver's license doesn't even qualify. And size isn't the only issue. The truck's infamous razor-sharp edges. UK regulations require vehicle exteriors to be smoothed or rounded to at least 3.2 millimeters. Those sharp angles Tesla calls futuristic. British regulators are calling them pedestrian death traps. If the truck were to hit someone, it wouldn't leave just bruises. It could cause serious injury, if not worse. And then there's the light bar, a full-width beam that's meant to boost visibility, but ends up blinding other drivers. It's too bright, placed too low, and doing the opposite of what it's supposed to. From icon to target. While that impounded Cybertruck sat at a Tesla shop in Manchester waiting for repairs, things got even uglier. Vandals tagged it with spray paint, covering its sleek exterior in profanity. It's not just a one-off incident. It's a symbol of growing backlash. And it's not just the UK where things are falling apart. In Ireland, the Cybertruck's sheer size makes it a nightmare. The country's famously narrow roads are already tough for compact cars. Now imagine trying to steer a nearly 4-ton metal beast through a centuries-old village. It's like bringing a tank to a bicycle lane. Legally, most European B-class driver's licenses cap out at 3.5 tons. Once you load the Cybertruck with luggage, gear, or even a full Irish breakfast, you're already over the limit. It's a recipe for accidents, fines, and legal headaches. Australia's not having it either, but perhaps the harshest rejection is coming from Australia. The land of rugged terrain and tough trucks isn't buying the hype. Between strict road standards, safety concerns, and general skepticism about whether this oversized vehicle actually belongs on public roads, the Cybertruck is hitting wall after wall, metaphorically, and in some cases, literally. The bottom line. The Cybertruck was supposed to be Tesla's Flex, a bulletproof beast that redefined the future of driving. But now, with panels falling off, legal issues piling up, and countries pushing back, it's starting to look like the company bit off more than it could chew. And while Tesla scrambles to fix things, the bigger story isn't just about glue or broken trim. It's about a company that's been so focused on selling a dream that it forgot to engineer the reality. Because no matter how futuristic something looks, if it can't survive a drive down the freeway, it's not innovation. It's just a very expensive mistake. Want this turned into a blog post, article, or narrated video script? I can. The Cybertruck versus the World Australia isn't exactly rolling out the red carpet for the Cybertruck. And here's one big reason why. The country drives on the left side of the road, while the Cybertruck is built for right-hand drive. That alone makes it non-compliant. But it gets worse. The truck's rigid steel exoskeleton might be great for withstanding dents, but it's terrible for absorbing impact. Hit a kangaroo, a pretty common occurrence on Aussie roads. And it's not just roadkill you're dealing with. That animal becomes a projectile, potentially injuring others on the road. The Cybertruck's armor might be tough, but at what cost? Safety for everyone else is clearly an afterthought. From global domination to local headaches. Tesla once dreamed of the Cybertruck conquering roads around the world. Now, that dream is stuck in park, whether it's size, weight, safety compliance, or infrastructure. This futuristic truck is colliding with reality. And if you plan to take your Cybertruck deep into the Australian outback, good luck. Charging stations are scarce. One dead battery and your $100,000 high-tech beast turns into the world's most expensive tent. That's the irony of the Cybertruck. It's a machine designed for the future, but the world just isn't ready for it. Or maybe it's the other way around. Even China, which didn't outright ban the Cybertruck, proved to be a dead end. In 2024, Tesla pulled its application after facing major regulatory barriers. Strict pedestrian safety rules and local pickup truck limitations made it clear. This beast wasn't getting the green light. What the US may see as bold innovation, the rest of the world sees as risky, even dangerous. Trouble at home. And things aren't exactly smooth sailing back in the US either. Tesla owners are dealing with more than oversized parking problems. They're now targets for political backlash. Some owners have found their trucks vandalized, spray painted with slurs and insults connected to Elon Musk's involvement in controversial government appointments, particularly within Trump's so-called Department of Government Efficiency. To add fuel to the fire, online rumors, including one about Musk allegedly giving a Nazi salute during an inauguration, ignited even more outrage, despite firm denials from his team. Suddenly, the Cybertruck, once a badge of cutting-edge tech, started becoming a political flashpoint. Across the pond, full-blown Fallout Europe has been even more brutal. In New York, Cybertruck vandalism has led to arrests. But in places like Germany and the UK, it's become a full-on crisis. In January 2025, Tesla's sales in Germany dropped a jaw-dropping 59%. In the UK, sales fell 12% in the same month. Protesters outside Tesla showrooms didn't hold back, connecting Musk to wider cultural tensions and expressing frustration with what they see as tech elitism wrapped in steel. What was supposed to be the vehicle of the future is now a symbol of division, caught in the crossfire. The Cybertruck was originally seen as a groundbreaking leap forward, a fusion of science fiction and engineering brilliance. But now, its oversized body, sharp lines, and bulletproof skin are being seen not as innovation, but as overkill. A lot of the world is reading its design as more aggressive than aspirational, a four-wheeled expression of American excess. Public opinion is split. Some still believe it's a bold statement, a disruptor in an industry overdue for change. Others see it as a dystopian tank, powered more by Silicon Valley ego than real-world practicality. And the owners? They're stuck in the middle. They bought into a dream, whether for the love of tech, the thrill of owning something futuristic, or the status that comes with it. But now, many are finding themselves unwilling symbols in a cultural debate they never signed up for. Their $100,000 investment is now as much a political statement as a personal vehicle. One Texas owner shared how other drivers flipped him off on the freeway. When he parked, he returned to find notes stuck to his windshield telling him to go back to Mars with Elon. In the UK, regulators now refer to the Cybertruck as a giant can opener. Online, things are just as tense. Discussions around the Cybertruck on X have gotten so heated that some owners are creating burner accounts just to talk about their trucks without catching flack. This isn't just a public relations issue anymore. It's an ideological battle, and Tesla's flagship vehicle is right in the center. The financial hit and the numbers, they're just as harsh. Tesla stock has dropped 42% since January, wiping out more than $300 billion in market value. Analysts predict the Cybertruck recall could cost Tesla hundreds of millions. But the real damage goes beyond repairs. It's about the brand, the trust, the lost customers. In 2024, Cox Automotive estimated Tesla would sell 39,000 Cybertrucks. Yet as of early 2025, more than 46,000 have been recalled. That means Tesla is calling back more trucks than it ever realistically got on the road. A logistical nightmare, and a reputational one too. A future stuck in reverse Tesla had big plans to spread the Cybertruck's development costs across a global audience. But with major international markets shutting their doors, those costs now fall almost entirely on the shrinking US market. The dream of global domination? That's out the window. Tesla built a truck for the future, but the world, it seems, isn't interested. What's left is a machine without a clear home, caught between hype and reality, innovation and isolation. The Cybertruck was supposed to be unstoppable, but now it's facing a force even Elon Musk can't tweet his way out of: the real world. The situation isn't exactly looking great, and just when it seems like things couldn't get more complicated for Tesla, there's the growing distraction of its CEO, Elon Musk. Once hailed as a visionary who literally slept on factory floors to sort out production issues, Musk now has his hands full, juggling SpaceX, X, formerly Twitter, Neuralink, and even political engagements linked to the Trump administration. The result? A serious lack of focus on Tesla at a time when the company needs steady leadership more than ever. As Tesla stumbles through product recalls, image concerns, and regulatory roadblocks, its competitors aren't waiting around. Legacy automakers like Ford, with its F-150 Lightning, and newcomers like Rivian with the R1T are aggressively carving out their share of the electric truck market. Unlike Tesla, these companies are managing to sidestep many of the regulatory and PR issues that have bogged down the Cybertruck, making them appear like safer, more dependable options for consumers. Tesla, once an unstoppable force in the EV world, is now facing one of its biggest tests. With global skepticism on the rise and limited ability to offset development costs through international sales, the Cybertruck's future looks shaky at best. And with Musk's attention increasingly spread thin, Tesla's ability to respond effectively might fall short or come too late. Institutional confidence is slipping behind the scenes. Major institutional investors are starting to pull back. Several large funds have already reduced their stakes in Tesla, some explicitly pointing to concerns over Musk's divided focus as a key reason. At the same time, Tesla's casual approach to regulatory compliance is raising more red flags. While the company still holds a healthy amount of cash, that cushion is being stretched like never before. Rising prices of battery minerals and ongoing supply chain woes across the EV industry are only making things harder. Wall Street is split on what happens next. The optimists, the bulls, see this as just another bump in Tesla's chaotic but ultimately successful journey. The pessimists, the bears, however, believe we're witnessing the first real cracks in Tesla's once unshakable dominance. The reality likely falls somewhere in between. Tesla still commands immense influence in the industry and enjoys an unmatched level of brand loyalty and innovation power. But the chaos surrounding the Cybertruck is exposing deeper issues. Mainly, a growing gap between the company's grand ambitions and its ability to execute them effectively. And that gap could have lasting consequences. The Cybertruck, bold leap or flawed vision? So, what's really going on with the Cybertruck? Is it a groundbreaking innovation that's simply misunderstood? Or is it a case of overreaching? The use of ultra-strong, cold-rolled stainless steel, the same material used in SpaceX's Starship, isn't just for show. It's chosen for its strength, corrosion resistance, and durability. On paper, it sounds like a visionary move, a glimpse into the future of vehicle design. But that's also where the problem starts. There's a significant disconnect between innovation and practicality. The Cybertruck may be futuristic, but it's stumbling when it comes to real-world production, usability, and consumer appeal. It's drawn massive attention, but not all of it positive. What was supposed to be a bold step forward is starting to look like a misstep. Tesla's goal is clear: to revolutionize how we think about transportation. And the Cybertruck is meant to be a shining example of that ambition. But right now, it's pushing boundaries at the expense of functionality and mass market readiness. The company's decision to use materials like 30X stainless steel is admirable from an engineering standpoint, but it seems out of touch with regulatory demands and what the average buyer expects or needs. The issue isn't that the Cybertruck is a bad idea. It might actually be ahead of its time. The innovation behind it could truly reshape the automotive industry. But Tesla still has to figure out how to bridge the gap between that bold vision and the nuts and bolts of mass production and sales. Until then, the Cybertruck remains Tesla's biggest and riskiest bet. A manufacturing nightmare in disguise. The Cybertruck sounds like a marvel, a rugged, futuristic machine wrapped in a bulletproof shell. But when you dig into how it's actually built, the challenges become clear. Unlike traditional vehicles that use lightweight panels attached to a frame, the Cybertruck's exoskeleton is the frame. That might mean better durability and safety, but it's also making production incredibly difficult. Even Elon Musk has admitted that this material can't be stamped like conventional car panels. The truck's sharp, angular look isn't just for show. It's the only shape that works with the thick steel Tesla chose. And welding this type of stainless steel? That's another major headache. Manufacturing the Cybertruck hasn't exactly been a walk in the park, and to make it work, Tesla had to think outside the box. Instead of relying solely on traditional fasteners, they turned to industrial adhesives. Here's the problem. In a vehicle, adhesives can't just stick things together. They have to endure extreme temperatures, vibrations, road wear, and time. That's a tall order. While aerospace engineers do use adhesives, they usually back them up with mechanical fasteners for extra security. Tesla, for reasons that are still unclear, chose not to go that route fully. And now we're seeing the consequences. The glue quite literally holding the Cybertruck together is starting to come apart. Tesla's biggest test yet. So, could Tesla redesign the Cybertruck to meet global market standards? Technically, yes. They could smooth out the sharp edges, lighten the frame, reposition the front light bar, and even build right-hand drive versions for international markets. It's all doable, but at a massive cost. We're talking over $1 billion for a full redesign. More importantly though, those changes would fundamentally alter the Cybertruck's identity. A version with rounded corners, toned down materials, and standard lighting wouldn't really be the Cybertruck anymore. Just another electric pickup in an increasingly crowded field. That's the core dilemma Tesla now faces. In trying to meet international regulations, they risk stripping away the very uniqueness that made the Cybertruck stand out in the first place. And if it loses its bold, unconventional character, is it even worth building? The Cybertruck saga is exposing a deeper struggle, the ongoing clash between unbridled innovation and the tight regulatory systems that govern automotive safety. It's not just about technical missteps. It's a bigger commentary on what happens when bold ideas collide with bureaucratic limits. Right now, Tesla's most iconic design sits at the heart of a global debate about ambition, safety, and practicality. From symbol of innovation to lightning rod. The Cybertruck was never just a vehicle. It became a symbol. A futuristic, unapologetically American invention that promised to disrupt everything we knew about car design. But for all its swagger, it's proven to be fragile in unexpected ways. What was once pitched as the future of transportation is now stuck in a tangle of legal regulations and public backlash. The very thing that made the truck appealing, its radical design, is now causing it major problems. It was supposed to represent American exceptionalism. Instead, it's become a flashpoint for criticism around safety standards, global compatibility, and even political identity. Tesla is now grappling with a reality that's hard to ignore. Not only is the Cybertruck struggling with real issues, including a recall of over 46,000 units, but international markets have already started shutting their doors. Stringent regulations, especially in Europe and China, have made the truck more of a liability than an asset. In the US, Cybertruck owners are facing a different kind of challenge: vandalism, ridicule, and growing disillusionment. What was once a cutting-edge icon has turned into a lightning rod for controversy. Critics say the truck, with its steel exoskeleton and bulletproof attitude, feels more like a tech ego trip than a thoughtful innovation. In trying to break the mold, Tesla may have cracked the trust of even its biggest supporters. A fork in the road. Tesla is at a pivotal moment. It has a few paths forward, none of them easy. One option is to focus solely on the American market and make just enough changes to address the recalls. This would preserve the Cybertruck's unique identity, but leave it locked out of global expansion. Another route is to invest heavily in a billion-dollar redesign that makes the Cybertruck compliant with international rules. But doing so could dilute everything that made the truck special in the first place, turning it into just another EV in the pack. And then there's a quieter option: slowly phasing out the Cybertruck altogether, letting it become a bold experiment that simply didn't pan out. More than just a truck. No matter what Tesla decides, one thing is clear. The Cybertruck has sparked a far-reaching conversation that extends way beyond cars. It's forced people to rethink what vehicles should look like, how they should be made, and who gets to define the rules. In many ways, the truck itself is less important than the questions it raises about innovation, regulation, and the future of technology. It challenges the very systems that are supposed to shape progress, revealing just how difficult it is to bring revolutionary ideas into the real world. This isn't just a story about one truck failing to live up to its promise. It's a window into a much bigger issue. What happens when progress moves faster than the frameworks meant to guide it? And sometimes, when you're trying to build the future, things fall apart, right in front of us. The Cybertruck was meant to be a symbol of what's next, but what we're seeing is a reminder that innovation is messy, unpredictable, and often comes with growing pains. Tesla's story isn't over, not even close. It's simply shifting into a new phase. The questions raised by the Cybertruck won't stop with Tesla. They'll ripple across industries, from automotive to aerospace, from tech design to public policy. If you followed this journey this far, you're not just watching, you're part of it. And the real story? It's only just beginning.